Good morning, Bethlehem, and welcome to the Bethlehem Morning Show. I'm your host, Elizabeth Hughes, and this is my co-host,
Anna Tucker.
I almost called her Anna Leslie.
Well, that's what you know me as.
We're not Craig and Pico. Brother Craig and Brother Pico. Sergio, what do y'all call him?
Whatever comes out.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Both?
Hey, you.
What was his name? We went bowling last night. The adultish group went bowling, and we all had like really funny names on our bowling thing. What was he? Oh man, like it was.
I still call him Sergi Joe.
Sergi Joe.
Yeah, because they used to call him that all the time.
He was like Pecco.
Pecco.
He was Pecco. Lauren was Laurel. What was Austin? I don't know. I gave everybody silly names. Yeah, I think I saw
No.
him. No.
Probably not.
Well, anyway, we're not them, but it's going to be
We're
great.
a little better. It's fine. We're not going to tell them that. We kicked the men out today. It's fine.
Yes, for Mother's Day. Woohoo! All of us here are mothers today.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to all our moms. Good day. And I think everybody has a little prize at church today.
Yes, and they're so cute. So be sure to come and get your little prize or gift, whatever.
Gift. Gift is better. You get a gift. Our kids get prizes. We get gifts.
Liz, you know what is weird? We're literally, high school, and now we're sitting here with both of our, we both have kids, and they, love each other. Well, Evie sometimes likes Mila, not all the time.
When she
but
doesn't
my
have
kid
to
is,
share.
obsessed, yeah. And it's just so weird, full circle moment.
Yeah. And Mila always runs up to Adelie and she says, "Baby Adelie." And then she does the highest little squealy peekaboo you've ever heard.
She is obsessed with baby Adelie. She's like, I want to go to Evie's house to see baby Adelie. That's they come together.
It's fun. Yeah, we're just going to be attached forever, probably.
That's fine. That's fine.
She didn't sound too excited about that. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna kind of interview our guest today. We've got Sister Lorena Tucker, of course, Sister Pastor V, and Sister Ellen. So I think we'll start with Ellen. So they all are kind of like different stages of motherhood. So we're all three of us are kind of in the same boat. But Ellen has the newborn and the 2-year-old. Sister V has teenagers, and then Sister Lorena has all. Everything in between. So we will start with some questions for Sister Ellen. So, question 1. What is the most challenging part and the most rewarding part of motherhood?
That's a hard one. There's a lot of challenges and a lot of rewards, but I was thinking about it last night, and I think the hardest thing at this stage with the 2-year-old, and the newborn, all the things, is completing any task. Any task. Whatever, a conversation, a sentence, laundry, is any mess as you're cleaning it up, they're pulling it right back out. You get in the middle of something that you think, okay, it'll only take a second, and then the baby starts crying. So that's the challenge.
All right, can you think of rewards?
Yes. There are a lot of rewards, too. The thing that comes with along the same lines, it's hard to complete any task, but usually it's because I'm trying to teach a 2-year-old how to do it, and just knowing that he is learning every single thing. Mm-hmm. I'm teaching him everything. Yeah. He makes a big old mess, and then he has to help me clean it up, and it takes so much longer to clean it up when you have to tell him, go get the paper towels, bring them over here, let's get down here and pick it up. But knowing that that's how he's going to learn responsibility and, the thought of getting to shape their childhood is scary, but very rewarding.
Yeah. And I I read something. So I don't know, I got interested and I did a little Google search. And I wanted to see, like, how many moms, I don't know, this is a really negative thing to Google, but I Googled how many moms feel like bad moms. Yeah. And it was like 1/3 of moms. Like, they did a study, I think, of 2,000 moms. And like 1/3 of moms feel like a bad mom at some point in the day. And I was just reading a bunch of stuff, and like one of the things said, like, you don't see, like, what's the word? Like, you don't see the fruit of your labor until so far down the road. Like, your toddler that's throwing a fit, like, you don't see far past that for years.
Yeah. And when you're in that moment, you don't see anything red usually. But like the other day, Wes was sitting in his chair eating his breakfast or some chips or something and had it all over his hands and face. And he was being good. He was just sitting there minding his business. And I just walked up and wiped his face off. And he said, "Thank you, Mama." And I was like, "For what, baby?" He said, "Leave my face." I was like, "You're welcome." That's the rewarding part.
Yes, the little sweet moments that just make you keep going.
Yes. In between the fits is fine.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, we'll move on with another question. Okay, this one's for you, Sister V. Okay, how has the transition been of building the foundation for spiritual development when they are children and stepping back and trusting them to grow in their own relationship with God? How do you continue to support them during this?
Well, that's a long question.
Sorry.
I'm trying to think if I can get all of that, like.
Maybe break it
Yeah,
down. So,
break
like,
it
your
down.
transition.
Yes. When they're little, you're trying to build their character, and so, and spiritually, just bringing them to church and just being faithful teaches them a lot. And so, we were here all the time when they were little, and get them involved in whatever is age appropriate for them. I know Ellie used to always love to get up here after church, get a microphone. She was probably, 2 maybe? Around 2. And Michelle would come up here with her, and Michelle would just let her, and I think Meredith and some of the other little girls that were her age, they would just get up here and sing. What was that song that they would sing? It was like, broken my life, what is that song? I am broken, my life is in pieces, and they're like 2 years old, and so it was always funny. But, and now I look, and now she leads worship a lot of times, or leads the praise team, or just singing, and so little things like that, you put in that, just let them be involved in stuff, letting them be involved, and just seeing where that takes them. And, Kate, she was always, I remember we'd walk in church and Jimmy Stanton would say, "Hey, Sister V," and "Hey, Shadow," because Kate was my shadow, like, there forever. Like, Kate was, if I turn around, she's right here with me, And so she would always be with me. And so now she likes to do work that, I know she helps you, Anna, with the charcuterie stuff, and she likes to have her hands kind of busy in things. And so
she is so that. She's the helper.
Yeah. And so I see that she probably her following me around and helping me with things, and sometimes it probably wasn't easy taking her and having her right there when I was trying to get stuff done, just like Ellen. It's hard to get things done when you've got little ones, but seeing that they both have their own little areas that they're involved in, that's a very rewarding feeling. So the things that you're doing when they're little, it's very stressful, and it's just, gosh, do I get a break? But when you can look back now and I can see them doing their thing, what makes them happy and makes them feel fulfilled in ministry, that's a very rewarding. And it is nice. You said, like, the transition. It is nice to be able to sit back and watch and not have to be there and
doing like with them. But that's a time too that I miss so bad, carrying my kids in church with me, even though, you got a diaper bag and a little one and a baby you're carrying. You don't ever get that back, and it's sad to me.
Yeah.
I see all these new moms, and I'm just like, aw.
It'll be sad when it's over. Right now, I'm ready.
Yeah, you are so ready for it. I think of this song that I think we played at Ellie's graduation, and it seems like it's a Trace Atkins song. You're going to miss this. You're going to want this back. You really do. You do.
When
You
you're in
can't
the
imagine.
midst of it, like, it can feel like, oh my goodness, like, am I ever going to be able to, just go and take a shower without them
You
standing
will.
right there, like things
I
that
know.
I don't know, like
Simple things.
yes, like I remember one time I'd put Mila down for a nap, and then after like she was down, I came out and you could just see like everywhere that she had been. Like, I mean, there were toys. You just knew where she had been. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to miss being able to walk out and see where my daughter has just been playing and, like, her stuff laying down. I mean, my house is a mess, but I'm going to miss seeing this laying in my floor and stuff.
Yeah. Yesterday I was out working. I was pulling weeds and cleaning my yard up, and I was just kind of thinking about how years ago I'd be out and I'd work and I'd be like, Ellie, where are you? And I'd have to hear her, or Kate, where are you at? Kate, where are you at? Kate. And I'd have to hear them say, I'm over here, Mom, and I was just thinking, you have those little flashbacks of when they were kids, and I thought, you know what, I miss that, having, now Kate's gone with her dad to a ball game, and, Ellie's going to school to be a dental assistant, and so it's just, those little times.
Yeah.
They're special.
Have y'all ever seen those memes? And it's like this list of things that like a kid did, or maybe a picture of like a kid throwing an absolute fit, and it's like they say, I'm gonna miss this.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen that.
And you don't at the time, but you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I
And
would.
it happens so quick.
It does.
So quick. And we're like, wait a minute, hold up.
It's like all other things. You remember the good times and not the bad.
Yeah.
You look back and you think of this sweet, thank you, Mama. Not the fit in the middle of the Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all good though. It'll be gone one day.
Sad.
that is sad.
I don't know if I
Wow.
answered your question though. Did I answer that question?
Yeah, you
right?
did.
Okay, all right.
Sister Lorena, what do you think is the best thing you've done to instill good behaviors in your kids? Okay. Anna's over here mumbling things to me.
Anna's like, I'm married to one of them. He doesn't have very good behavior.
Well, so what have you done to back to the question. What have you done to instill good behaviors?
Well, I think when they were smaller, the biggest thing, and I was thinking about this morning, the biggest thing is that I tried to live in front of them what was good behavior. And was I perfect at it? Absolutely not. I'm probably known as a yeller. My kids will tell you that when I lose it, I yell. I can't help it. I try not to, but I do. But it's like, hang on, let's bring this down.
Quiet, Lorena.
But I tried to teach them, like when things would happen, I would try to teach them, no, this is why we do this and this is why we do that. I had a whole generation of people from the church I grew up in, several generations, had the best Sunday school teacher, absolute best Sunday school teacher. Still today, when I look back on my childhood, one of my first memories is Sister Reno. And Brother Carson touched on something the other night. He started to sing that song, Be Careful Little Eyes, What You See. But what he was saying, my mind already went straight to that song because Sister Reno taught that to me. And I taught that to my kids. You've got to be careful what you put before you and what you're looking at, what you're doing, what you're saying. Be mindful of how it's going to hurt, how's it going to affect the people that hear that come out of your mouth. And the biggest thing, though, I think was prayer. I'll try not to cry because mine are gone. Well, they're not gone, but they're not under my skirt tail anymore. But I tried. I had moments when I would go to pray, and I was, in my little secret closet. But I tried to make sure my kids knew I was praying, because that was important for me, that they knew Mama makes it through her day because she goes to pray. I would either, put them somewhere and tell them, okay, Mama's going in here to pray for a little while. Try to keep the noise down, give them their list of things that they can and cannot do. And then I would go pray. And it may not have happened as often as I feel like it did, but some of my most precious memories are when they would kind of take turns, and they would come into that room, and they were so quiet, almost tiptoeing. And they'd crawl in my lap, sit there. Just sit there and listen to me pray for a little while. And then they would go out. And then it seemed like a little bit later, here would come another one and just sit down in my lap. And, but to me, knowing that prayer was so important, that was the thing. I think that's the key to all of it, is because, when you do have a bad attitude, what do you need to do? You need to go pray. And so and I would tell them sometimes, you need to go pray. And sometimes I would think, and you do too.
That must, I kind of told you about this, but talking about them coming in your room, not too long ago, me and Mila, she has a little sand place outside. We have this little gazebo thing, and she was in she's playing in her sand, and I was on the little swing, and I had my Bible, and I was just praying, and I told her that I was praying, and she was just doing her thing, and then she walked over there to me, and she was like, I want to pray, I want to talk to God too. I was like, okay. And she was like, hey God, what you doing, God? I love you, Jesus. And then got off the swing and went on back to playing with their sand. But they're watching, they see that, and you may not think that they're little, especially at that age, but they are watching and just soaking it in. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
They hear everything.
You talking about praying like that reminds me of when I had Wes. My grandma came. He was a couple weeks old probably, and she came and stayed for about a week at our house. And I remember waking up in the mornings, early in the morning, with a newborn baby, and Grandma would already be awake, and I could hear her in his nursery praying. And I had some pretty bad postpartum anxiety. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't realize until I had Rosie and didn't have that how bad it was when I had Weston. But I remember having so much peace hearing her praying in his nursery and knowing that, and she would come get him and just being there holding him and rocking him and just praying. And that gave me so much peace, just hearing her, her praying instead of him crying.
Yeah, that's sweet. So, Ellen, in the newness of motherhood, how do you not neglect your husband? Speak to us, sister.
Give us your wisdom.
Let me know when you find out. So I try to be really mindful not to neglect my husband, but it turns out that he gets the brunt of the load a lot of times. Just, when you're frustrated or overwhelmed or overstimulated or any of the things, it comes out usually on him. But I try to be mindful of not doing that. And when I do, apologizing and making a point to be like, it was not you. We were having a hard day, Been here all day with these children and you see this house.
Right.
And then just being mindful of we've done it again recently. We did the love languages test when we were, I guess, engaged. Maybe newlyweds, but I think we did it when we were engaged. But I asked him recently to take it again with me because I was like, we've been married almost 5 years now. I think it's changed. I feel like my preferences have changed some, and yours probably have too in these 5 years as you learn and grow and just you change as people. And so I try to be mindful of his love languages and try to incorporate that into our day. So he likes words of affirmation and acts of service. So I try to be fill up his cup, or when we're having dinner, I make his plate and usually we do dinner in shifts. We're not a good family that sits down at the table and all the kids and we all eat together. We kind of feed Wes, and one of us stands in the kitchen and eats, and the other one's on the couch. But I still try to like make us plate or actually cook dinner, you know, instead of going out or, you know, cooking a frozen meal. Like thaw some chicken every once in a while.
I think if you had all of our husbands on here, they all would say they're very neglected.
Probably.
That's
probably.
true.
I'm sitting here thinking, I hope Tim is not listening.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I think they have a totally different take on what we probably. I don't know. My
In
husband's
short,
neglected.
he is neglected, but I try to do little things to make up for some of the neglect. And do it in his language, something that he will appreciate. You know, not
Yeah.
be mindful to not do what I would want, but what he would like.
I think it was Brother V maybe in the premarital class when he was there maybe last week. But he was talking about like when you have it wasn't love languages, it was something else. But like people show love differently. And like if my love language, or let's say like I'm speaking Chinese and you're speaking English, like I'm not gonna understand you if you're not speaking my language. Like you may think that you're showing love that way, but that's not how they necessarily receive it.
And to that, I've also tried to be mindful to understand. This is a new one for me, so he's probably watching this thinking, you don't do that. But tried to receive the love the way that he gives it.
Yeah.
So he might not necessarily speak my love language, but when he does things that I know are his love language, to understand that that's what that is, helps me, you know, not to be overwhelmed in my daily and think he is not helping me at all, but he is. His list is just different than my list.
Yeah.
And so that's good. Helps us to connect, you know, and not feel like we're living in different worlds.
You don't love me.
Oh my Lord. Okay.
It's easy to do that when you have small kids and everybody's
1,000%
going everywhere, you know.
Okay, moms watching everywhere. Comment if you and your husband if you have kids and like especially if you're a stay-at-home mom or you stay at home part-time or whatever, or maybe it's just life, I don't know. But if you and your husband have ever had the argument like, I stay here with these kids and you live your life and you do your thing, is this like a universal like husband-wife thing?
I'm taking care of the kids and you're think that your business outside of the home is more important kind of thing?
You get to just leave.
Yes.
I'm here.
Like you go to work and you do whatever you want with your arms. I've said that so many times. Like nobody screams at you all day. Like is anybody else? Is it just me? Everybody spilling all my problems to the world.
Well, it's like if moms have to do, like it's just understood, like if moms have to do something, you have to figure out the plan with the kids. Like husbands, I'm going to go and do this. Is that okay? You good?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go.
Alex and I went on a date Friday night, and I asked him, do we have plans Friday night? And he said no. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to see if Mom can watch the kids. We'll go on a date. So I organized the babysitter. I picked the location and the time, and we did it. And I was like, I want you to know, this is not a Mother's Day gift.
Everything's work.
I coordinated this and planned it. And though it fell on Mother's Day weekend, this is not a gift.
You're not out of the
I
woods.
asked you if you had plans, and you said no.
That's awesome. Okay, where are we? Sister V, do you want to kind of talk about your journey that you experienced and your motherhood, you know?
Yes. Are you talking about with loss?
Yes.
And, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, when you asked me to speak, be on here this morning, I thought, I hope that I get the opportunity to say a little bit about this because before I had Ellie and Kate, I had 2 miscarriages. So I know how Mother's Day, in my mind, I know the dread that comes from Mother's Day for some people. We come in, everybody's like, oh, happy Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day. And it is a happy Mother's Day, for a lot of people. But there's a lot of people that walk in and that this day is a dreadful day for them. And because all that they see is their they're void, that they've never been able to have a child, or they're lost. It's just like a big thing there. And that's, I remember those days on Mother's Day, and it just, it makes my heart, break for those that are still deal with that. It was, let's see, I miscarried twice. We had been married for 7 years, and so thought we were ready to have kids. So I was expecting, and we had this miscarriage, and then I think I waited like another year, and then I got pregnant again, and then I had another miscarriage. And so in my mind, I was thinking, you know how we're all human, so we have thoughts that probably aren't the best thoughts, and I thought, why is God playing a trick on me? He gives life and he takes life, and I'm like, this is like he's playing a mean trick on me, because we were so excited and we got to the point that we were ready for kids. But then, and I was just thinking about this, I thought, me and my sister, Laura, we both got pregnant. The second time I was pregnant, we got pregnant like within 2 weeks apart. And I was thinking about when we were getting ready to move down here, Isaac had just been born. And it was so hard for me to leave up there. That's a whole nother story in itself. But I thought, he's never going to know me because I'm going to be so far away from him. He's not going to remember Aunt Sara. And then I thought, you know what? I was supposed to be due at that same time. Like, if I would have had that baby, I don't think I would have ended up here. I don't think I would have taken my kids away from my family. I just don't see that happening. So, and then when we moved down here, it was a little while after we were here. We were building the house, and I got pregnant for Ellie. But I would think of this song, and Lorena may remember this song. I don't know. Beautiful, God makes all things beautiful in His time. It's an old little song that we used to sing when we were kids in children's church. I don't think they know that song now because that's an old one. But in His time, He makes all things beautiful in His time is the gist of the song. And I can look back now and I think, He did make things beautiful in His time. It wasn't my time was so far off from what His timing was. Mm-hmm. And it just didn't, it wasn't my plans either. So my plans and my timing just wasn't what God's was. And sometimes we want to rush the timing, or we think that our plans are better. But in the long run, God knows. He sees the future. He can see what will come. And if we'll just be content and just, for those that are dealing with loss or dealing with that void, find somebody just to focus on, and don't focus on the loss, and don't focus on what you don't have. Mm-hmm. Because God has something for every lady, I think, in the long run. There's some, they may not ever be able to have children, but God can replace that with somebody in your life, and He can fill that void. Mm-hmm. So I think that if people will not focus on what they've lost or what they feel like they don't have, and just be patient with God, because it's hard to do when you're the one that's going through that. But I just hope that all of those ladies that are feeling that way can try to refocus that and think, you know what, God knows right where I'm at. He knows right what I'm going through, and He cares, and He's going to make things beautiful in time.
Absolutely.
And His plan is so much better than ours.
Yes. When you said, talking about God knows,
Mm-hmm.
God sees the end from the beginning. Like He knows your future. He knows everything about your whole life. Mm-hmm. The verse that says, "Perfect love casts out fear." I think the Lord just gave me revelation about that verse one day, because it's the completeness of His love. Like when you have the understanding of the fullness of His love for you, it removes fear. Like, you're worried about, will I ever have kids? Or maybe you're just worried about the world, what's going to happen, whatever. When you understand the Father's love for His children, you don't have to worry about anything. He is our Father and loves us with perfect love. It's not even like we love our children. It's imperfect. He is our perfect Father and loves us so much that we are in God's hand. He controls the world, and that's our Father.
Right.
And He knows everything. We have nothing to fear, nothing to worry about.
And that is a time, too, where, I'm thankful that me and my husband had that time. We had 11 years before we had children. And so, focus on your husband, because you'll never be able to do that once you have kids, just to focus on your husband. That time goes bye-bye, because even as they get older, I know, sorry. Even though they get older and there's more time for you guys, you always have those little people or those other people that are in your life, and you don't ever have just that time together, that it's just the two of you. So even if it is 10 years that you have, go do things that you wouldn't be able to do.
Start over.
Yeah, and some start over because they loved it so much. They're like, let's do this again.
Wow.
No, we all follow the call of God. Huh? Yes. So, but yeah, just try to be content with where you're at in life, and let the Lord just, I don't know, flourish those relationships that you have at the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
All right, Sister Lorena. What does it look like during the abrupt change of roles when your children get married? Speak to Sister V.
It's ugly. It's
Never mind.
messy. It's confusing. You lose a sense of who you are.
Oh, wow.
I'm just going to be
Does that
honest
give you
with
hope?
You absolutely lose a sense of who you are, because all their lives,
Thanks,
your
Anna.
job was to take care of them. They fell down. You fixed their boo-boos. You kissed the pain away. You got to tell them what to do, and they did it or suffered the consequences. And then, and I will say this, Ellen, you're not exempt from it, but girls are easier. Girls are easier because they still cling to their mama. But boys, oh, ouch, 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 because they absolutely, and it's biblical. The Bible says that they leave their family and they cleave to their wife. Well, excuse me, I raised you, I gave birth to you, I kissed.
Hello.
And you're telling me, Mama, leave me alone now? and not really telling you that, but yeah, they're really telling you that. I can make my own decisions, but finally just letting go of them, and trusting that you did your part. But the messy part is when you try to figure out where do I fit in now? Bo wasn't so much a mama's boy. He definitely wasn't. He flat told me, I love you, Mama, but I just love Daddy more. And he meant it too. But Ethan was a mama's boy, and still is a little bit. I still see little glimpses every now and then, but for the most part, he's yours.
Thanks for that.
He is yours. I think the last camp meeting that he
I already know where you're going with
that
it.
he planned from home, not married, he was driving me crazy, because Ethan needs somebody to say, yeah, that's what you need to do, always. And I thought, this is the last time I got to do this. I sent Anna a text. I was like, this is yours next year.
And I didn't understand at the time.
Oh, but you
I
do
do now. I'm like, Lorena, he's yours for the week of camp meeting.
That's so funny.
But letting go is really, really hard. And poor little Bo. Bo being the first, I'm telling you, your first gets it. And we're firsts ourselves. So, and we kind of, you learn with that first one.
You're the practice kid.
Yeah.
Sorry, Wes.
And it was rough when Bo left. Bo graduated from college on Saturday, and he moved away on the following Thursday. So that was really, really hard on me. I didn't know who I was, and being told, Mama, you've done your job, you're done now, relieved of your duties, basically. And that's not easy when you poured your whole heart into it. And now you're just supposed to step back and say, okay. And it's that abrupt. It really is that abrupt.
I feel bad because I
Sorry.
did that to my parents too. I think about that, and my dad always reminds me, he's like, Ellie's going to marry somebody and move far away, but so far that doesn't look like the plan, thankfully. But
Praise the Lord.
yeah, just we're married and now we're gone.
Anna sent
That's
me
just
something to
sad.
the effect of that the other day. Whatever it was, like, you're going to be the boy mom and he's going to leave you for a girl, basically, is what it said. And I was like, I'm going to be so daggum supportive and accepting that my daughter-in-law is going to want to come back and visit us at Christmas.
You're going to make lots of mistakes. Sorry. Come see me.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
So we have a few more minutes, and I think, what do you think about like ending by telling like our maybe favorite memory or something of our children?
Okay.
Does that sound fun?
Sure.
Okay, does anybody want to start? Like, do you have a memory or something that you just love to tell about your kids? Think about the videos you have on your phone.
Oh goodness, I record her doing everything.
I know Sister V
My
has some good
videos
ones.
aren't on my phone.
So it can be about your kids, or it can be about your mom. Like if you have a memory
Oh,
with
that's
your
a good
mom
thing,
too.
too.
Like your favorite, like
Yes.
what did your mom do for you, or just like a core memory that you have with her.
This is unpopular, but I'm one of the crazy adults, even though I know it probably is nasty, and I just don't think about it. But McDonald's, I do like McDonald's because McDonald's is comfort food to me. My very first, I know, Sister Savie's like, whoa, gross. It's comfort. When I've had a bad day, I start thinking, man, I want a McDonald's cheeseburger so bad. And I'll go get one. But the reason is because I remember, and I could not have been two because my mother was pregnant with my brother. So it's younger than 2 years old. My first memory is my mama taking me. I was in the stroller. I remember crossing the street. My mother was pregnant, and me knowing we were going to McDonald's. And for less than $1, she paid for my food and her food. Wow. So, but that was my first memory. And anytime anything went wrong, McDonald's wasn't that gross then. I know. It was actually kind of good.
It was the go-to place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anytime anything went wrong, my mom took me to McDonald's. And so, to me,
We are not sponsored by McDonald's.
no, we're not. We are not. And I'm sorry, McDonald's, that I said it's probably gross. But I still eat it when I've had a bad day. But my mama always did, like, special things. There was, like, special things. And I find myself trying to incorporate that into, like, little things I can do with each of the grandkids. You know, I tried to do it with the kids, but, you know, I was in the heat of the battle at that point. Grandkids are the grandest part of parenting because you get to do all kinds of things you didn't have the time to do with your kids. So yeah, I try to do things with them that's special, and I try to make sure that they know who their grandparents are. You know that I had the best grandmother in the whole wide world. My grandkids will never know her except for that picture on the refrigerator. And I can take Mila in there and say, who's that? She'll say, Grand Mary.
What about you, sister? Oh, yeah. What about you?
Well, I'm thinking that wasn't something that we could think about ahead of time. So, like, for my girls, I just can't think. I just can't even think of anything right now. I mean, I could scroll through Facebook and look at memories on there and say, oh, I remember that, but just to come off the top of my head. But
You told me some stories about Kate before, like some funny things that she would say, or
oh, she said a lot of funny things. My husband has the Kate speak thing.
what'd you say?
My mom is a horrible parker.
She still says that.
I mean,
Parking.
there's a lot of stories. I'm sure my husband would be a whole lot better at thinking of things with my girls. I don't really have any stories of my girls that I can just think of off the top of my head. They've both been a lot of fun to raise. They both are two totally different personalities. I do remember this Facebook post that I put, and I think you commented on it, when we went to my mom and dad's at Christmas time, I think it was, and they were making cookies, sugar cookies. And, Ellie's got her little tray, and Kate's got hers, and they're putting different colored, sugar on the cookies. And Ellie's cookies, have, 3 or 4 different colors on each cookie, and the sugar's just everywhere, And then Kate's cookies, she's got her color. Each one has its own color on it. And I looked at those cookies, unbaked cookies, and I took a picture of it. And I'm like, this right here describes my girls' personalities. Kate was very OCD about stuff, and Ellie's just, whatever. And so those cookies, I remember that. They're so different.
If my kids did cookies, Evie's would be perfect.
Yeah.
They would be just perfectly lined up.
That's Kate.
And Adelie would have sugar on the walls and ceiling.
That's Ellie. Yep, that's totally little things like that you can see.
I see all these memes about the second kid is the hard one or whatever. Not for me. God gave me Wes, and he said, good luck. I'm going to make her easier because you can't do 2.
Yeah. But then I think about my mom, and I don't have just a special memory that I'm thinking of in particular, but I think about, and I don't know if she's watching today, but happy Mother's Day if you're watching, Mom. But I was thinking about some of the memories of me, with my kids, and I thought, my mom did things like that. You don't really think sometimes that you're like your mom, but, she stayed home, she raised us, she would get jobs every once in a while, like little part-time jobs, but for the most part, she was always there. I think I was with my kids 24/7. I might have been 23/7 if I took them to my husband and said, watch them while I go take a shower or something, and then by the time I got back there, they were screaming their heads off. But, and so I remember my mom, we were always with her, and we would look forward to the time that my dad would get home off work. He would do some stuff with us. But, she sacrificed a lot, and she gave her everything to raise us. And that's what moms do, And I just appreciate everything that she did for us, raising us, because she was a good mom. A lot of people might not be able to say that, but my mom was a very good mom, and I'm thankful that I had a good example to follow after. So,
do we get to tell ours?
Sure, we got time. They'll be okay.
Yeah, we don't have difference makers or anything today.
Okay.
We do have church at 10.
Yeah.
9:30
We'll be done by
prayer.
then.
It's the Mother's Day special. Take your time.
We'll end at 9:55.
Let the kids get them dressed, or let the husband get the kids dressed today.
Yep. Somebody has to go back to New Albany. Yeah. Oh, we are on a little time.
All right, we'll be done soon. So for me, with my mom, I noticed that I do things like her now, which is so funny. Because, when you're like a teenager and a kid, you're like, oh my gosh, like why? And you just kind of roll your eyes at everything she says, right? Hopefully
you still
not.
roll your eyes, but you're rolling in them at yourself. Like,
Right.
Oh, that was my mom.
Yeah. So one thing, like Evie, her thing lately is like, they were mean to me. Like she says that people are mean to her. And I'm like, I think your idea of mean to you is more like they didn't do what I said. Like I'm pretty sure that's how it's going right now. But like she'll say, they did this. And I'll say, well, Evie, you can't help what other people do, but you can help what you do. And I'm pretty sure my mom told me that. Like my whole childhood, and that's where that comes from.
Everybody might not know this. We have the same mom. Elizabeth is my sister.
Yes.
And I told her yesterday, Evie is so much like her mama. I see her say things and do things, and I remember Elizabeth doing that when we were kids. What goes around comes around. Good luck to you.
I know. I see her. I see her like starting to kind of take on some of my childhood, characteristics, and I'm like, oh my gosh, no, don't do that to me.
I pray often my kids turn out like my husband.
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to think of a memory with my kids. So this was like a fun thing that we did when Adelie was born. She was a few months old, and me and Evie went to the park. Like it's the Blue Mountain Park. She knows, like the Blue Mountain Park. We went and we took a picnic basket, and just me and her had a Mommy Evie day, and that was fun. We just had a picnic and we played, and I played with her the whole time, which I don't normally do. Normally it's like, okay, go play. But I played, and it was exhausting. But we had Mommy Evie day, and it was fun.
Right on. So I think, okay, so first I'll talk about my mom. And I guess like the thing that sticks out the most to me, like about my childhood, is like my mama, like when we had like a favorite snack or something, like that was gonna be in our kitchen, in the pantry. Like she made sure, like after basketball, we would have our drinks and we'd have like our snacks. And when I was sick, even like when I got married, like I was like, okay, I'm gonna need my mama to come and take care of me. Like she would make me potato soup, and she would just baby the mess out of me. Even like as an older like girl, I was gonna say lady, that felt weird. Older girl, I'm just a little girl. Whatever. But I just wanted, like, there was just something comforting about my mama and the way that she takes care of you, because in their mind, like, you're still their baby too. Like, and that's the thing, like, I don't know, it's weird, like, seeing that I have a child, because I feel like I still feel like I'm still my mama's baby. Like, she should treat me like I'm her baby.
It's weird, the thought, like, how I feel about my mom, like, how I need her.
Yeah.
But then to think that you've got these other people that are looking at you like as much as what you need your mom,
Yes.
they need you just that much. That's what a
Yes.
weird feeling is to me.
That is
yes.
weird. And like
Yes.
once I had Mila, like it really showed me, because like we make mistakes, like we're learning. And so when I had Mila, like it showed me that my mama was just a mama trying to do her best too. Like it just shows you, like, she didn't know what to do with everything, and she just did her best. And like I guess you realize that when you're just doing your best also. We're just girls.
I ask God all the time to make up for the rest. Like whatever I mess up, please just make up for it.
Yeah. But with Mila, I think just the sweetest thing that she does that I love is like if she ever sees me crying or something, like she'll come up and she'll wipe my tears. She's like, "It's going to be okay, Mommy." And then she'll just lay her head, and I'm just like, "Okay, it's going to be great. We're going to do it."
And I think that's a difference in my kids too. Like Evie is so emotionally aware. You can't get anything around this kid. She is she's very emotional, and she's very emotionally aware. Like I can try to like not show any emotion. If I'm mad or whatever, like I'll try, and she's like, "Mama, can you not be so mad next time?" Like whatever. And she gives like this really wise advice, and it's so annoying. One time I was just mad, just so mad about something, and it was Adelie. Adelie was doing something, and she's in the back seat, and she's like, "Mama, she's just a baby." Like, and I was like, "Evie, you have to be quiet."
Don't talk to me right now.
So Adelie will probably like show no emotion. She'll just be like,
I don't know, but she
whatever,
smiles. She just smiles.
She'll just be
nonstop.
happy all the time.
She is a happy one.
Yeah.
I hope that's her emotion all the time.
Yeah.
Just smile.
Just smiles. They're always they're always different. They're not the same. So yeah, she just may be like that.
What's yours, Ellen?
I don't know. Y'all make it hard. I do think, like you were saying, it's so weird. You can't explain having kids until you have them, and then you instantly think back to your mom, and you're so much more thankful when you realize, you're a kid and you're growing up, and you're like, I have a mama. Yeah, she takes care of me. But then you have kids, and you're like, oh, I put that woman through it.
Yeah. She deserves really good Mother's Day gifts
Yes.
from now on.
Yes. Mother's Day doesn't mean that much until you're a mama. You appreciate your mom, but then you are mom, and you're like, wow, she deserves it.
Yeah.
But one of the things, like Anna was saying, I remember a specific time when I had Wes. I don't know if I was in nursing school, but I don't know if I'd gone back yet or if I was still on leave from school. And me and Alex both got COVID, and we were so sick. And I called Mama. It was a Saturday. I didn't have to go to school anyway. But I called her at like 6 a.m. on a Saturday, and I was like, Mama, we are so sick. I cannot take care of this baby. Like, I don't have the strength to lift my head. I can't take care of this baby. And at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning, she got up and came to my house, took my baby to Granny's house. And I remember me and Alex both laying on the couch. Our couch is like a sectional, and so he was laying on one section, I was laying on the other, and our heads were kind of close together. And I was just crying. I was like, I'm so thankful that I have a mama that I can call, and she would just come early in the morning and wake up, because I could not do it today. And he was telling me, he was like, I can't, because he told me not to call her. He's like, we can do it. We can manage. I was like, we can't manage. I can't.
No, we can't, man.
And we were laying on the couch, and he was like, I'm really glad you called your mama.
Moms are great. We love our moms. Liz, do you have anything else, or are we gonna?
I just want to talk about my kids and my mom all day.
We could, like, if you get a bunch of girls together, you can talk.
This is my thing to the ladies in our church, that if you have a baby and you're overwhelmed and you're stressed and you need somebody just to help you, just bring them over to me, and I'll be happy to hang on
You're
to
gonna
them
have
for a
17
while.
babies in your lap this morning.
You know, well, when I would come to church, Tim Tucker was my go-to person. Yeah. He was like the baby whisperer. So he would take my kids, because I was picky. I didn't want anybody, just whoever take them. But, yeah.
That time that Austin turned around and just handed Adelie to whoever was.
Yeah. Who was that? It was a preacher or
It
something.
was Steve Guttrell.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Or that's not how you say their name. I
Guttrell.
forget now.
Yeah, Guttrell.
I think. Anyway, so, but he treated like.
What do I do with this baby?
Pastor B was like come close service, and he was holding Adelie, and he was like, just turned around and handed her to the closest person.
That was hilarious. That was so funny.
Yeah, we just hand our kids to whoever's around.
Yeah, just bring them to me, and I'll take them for a little while. I won't keep them for a long time.
It was a good person.
Because I know when you don't have help, because my husband was always up here, so, and I didn't have family here. So it is overwhelming. I'd think, why in the world am I here? I should just have stayed home.
Oh, my word, yeah. Oh,
but it does pay off to come to church every time the doors are open. It does.
If you think your kid is the loudest or the wildest or the most distracting, look over to me. I promise they're not. You hear your own kids much more than anybody else hears your kids.
Yeah. I don't hear anybody's kids. Moms can zone that out easy.
I hear mine, and I feel like everybody can. And it seems like every time Mila was throwing like her biggest fit and I'm taking her out, Brother V will be like, everybody, do you hear that? Like, that's a beautiful sound. If you don't hear babies crying, you're not a growing church. I'm like, Brother V, just let it go.